Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and in this video, we are going to be having an in-depth look at Limes L400. Now, I did have a previous version of this video filmed, and then what actually happened was Limes updated this truck like crazy. The creator of this truck updated it like crazy, changed out the suspension geometry, added a bunch of new wheels and tires, a bunch of new color combinations, and so many new performance characteristics that really the original video, the old video, was of a completely different truck than what this is now. So at this point, we're going to be going, like I said before, fully in depth with this truck and showing you guys everything about it, but I'm also going to go ahead and explain to you a couple of the little like weird things that it does that make it really, really cool. Now, as you can see, it is based on an F350, but it's also not fully branded, so I don't know if it'll make its way to consoles or not, but it may in the future. And also, Limes does plan to release this truck to the public either later on down the road, or if it's already released, there will be a link in the description box below. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get straight into the customization. Now, as you can see from the factory, it sits pretty low, but not, not ultra low, but like low enough that it would get caught on quite a few things on the trail. Now, if we go to the engine settings, we have stock, built, and bulletproof. Now, stock is 475 horsepower, built is 950 horsepower, and bulletproof is, this is way too much power and no one should ever need this, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave this here. At least that's what he describes that power level to be. So we're gonna go with the built engine, and you have three different gearbox options. You have stock 5, you have fast, which is a 9-speed, and then you have tow. So we're gonna go with the fast only because it just allows for that really long range automatic mode combined with all the other gear ratios. Now, suspension wise, this is where it gets really interesting. So you have stock, and then you have flex, lifted, mega lifted, and mega lifted flex, and then mid lifted and mid lifted flex, which mid lifted flex is basically a softer version of mid lift, which is the 8-inch lift. And then after that, you have race. And now race suspension is really cool because it's actually set up specifically for jumps and tracks and handling and stuff like that. So it's really well tailored to the map we're on right now, which is Super Truck Stadium. Now, after that, you can go to short lifted, stock tow, and tow. Now, personally, I've really been enjoying the flex setup, which is like just not even any of the other like flex versions of the lift kits. This one is just like a standalone setup, just flex in general. So we're gonna go for that first. Now, this is where we get into all the different tire sizes. So your quote-unquote highway tires are more of a mud terrain size or a mud terrain style compound. And this particular one, the one that's just one away from the end, is probably my favorite setup to run on it. So we're going to go ahead and install that. However, you actually have a lot of different options here. You have some really skinny swampers that you could basically go super tall yet super skinny. You can also do these you can do these BFGs with deep dish wheels on them. And the only thing is, I do have to say, these these sizes on the left that say 22-inch, 24-inch, 25-inch, they're not exactly accurate, and I feel like that's probably something that will end up getting patched later on down the road, obviously by the creator. So let's go on to the boggers now. The boggers are basically a full-on mud setup ready to go. You also have tractor tires, which the tractor tires are really cool, and you could do a giant version of the BFG all-terrains if you so desire. So what we're going to end up going with actually is, I think for this test, and actually just to show off what this thing's got and what it can do, we're going to go with the stock tire, quote-unquote, which looks like it's modeled after some kind of Mickey Thompson mud terrain. But after that, we're going to go to the wheel selection, and these Method Race wheels have three different variants. You've got the black ones, the green ones, and the gold ones. They all look really good. I'm actually going to go with the green ones this time around. Now, colors-wise, your default color scheme is basically a matte black or a satin black on the truck with some green accents around the vehicle, including the winch line, which is a very nice touch, and that goes a long way to really showing how good the green wheels look as well. Now, if you change the color of the truck, you can also see that the suspension parts and the winch line and the tow hooks change color as well. And I do like this gray, but if I'm going to go with a dark color, I'm probably just going to leave it stock. That way, basically, you have you know, you have the contrast that looks really good of the suspension parts and the wheels and, you know, the logo in the middle of the grill. Now, there's really nothing for interior customization right now, but that will hopefully come later on down the road. Now, this thing looks incredible. There's really nothing about this thing that does not look incredible. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what it can do. Now, since we have the crawler suspension on it right now, we are going to do a little bit of a run down the crawling trail, and then after that, we're making a run straight back to the racetrack, because this thing absolutely rips. Absolutely, absolutely rips. Now, depending on which ones of my streams you've watched, you may have seen where this truck actually ran, I believe it was a 3-minute and 14-second time out here on the course. Now, that was with, you know, full disregard for damage and body panels and everything. I mean, we really smashed the truck up, but the point of that was to really see how fast it could go. And honestly, not only was it fast, but after I ended up setting that time, I figured it could probably go faster because I did make quite a few mistakes during that run as well. So I have no doubt that I could probably shave quite a few seconds off of that time. Again, like about 3 minutes and 14 seconds out here. But even 3 minutes and 14 seconds is properly quick in my eyes. The entry to that first, you know, that first edge of that log climb is particularly sharp and always has been. If you shift it up into high quick enough, you can actually power it all the way up over that jump. And it really works well. Like, whoa! Coming up on one side right there. I do have to warn you, if you plan on using this truck to drive in high-speed scenarios around corners with the flexi suspension, you're going to end up getting into dangerous territory and getting close to tipping it over. That flex setup is good for one thing, flexing out on a trail, and that's about it. If you want to drive this thing fast, go for the race setup. That's the only way to go if you want to go fast in this thing. So let's make a quick bump over these barrels. There we go. Not bad at all. See if it'll bump up. There it is. And then just jumps right over the rest of the obstacle. Bounces off the other barrels a little bit iffy, but it's okay. Making our way up over the top of the hill. Still doing very, very well, and I think one of the biggest things I've always loved about this truck, and one of the things that honestly he keeps improving about it with every iteration, is the fact that even when you're going really fast in it, it's so composed. Like, did you see how incredibly stable it was off of that jump? Absolutely incredibly stable. Now, I will say, an off-camber turn like that with the flex suspension, you will get yourself into trouble pretty quick if you come into it too hot, and again, my bad on that one, but, you know, it happens. It absolutely 100% it does happen. So this section is going to probably be the last part of this little test, and then after this, we're going to take it back to the garage, equip the race suspension, and take it out to the racetrack, which is probably my favorite place to drive this thing. Even though it's incredible on the trails, and it does a beautiful job on the trails, the track is really where this setup really shines. I mean, truly it shines in all scenarios, but I think out there on the track, it really does an amazing job. So let's recover back to the garage, go back into the customization, grab the race suspension, probably switch out the tires, I think, and that way I can show you guys a little bit of a different wheel and tire setup, wheel and tire package, but we're going to go to the BFGs now. Now, we'll probably go with this size, looks to be about right, and this actually has quite a few different wheels. So you have these, and then you go straight to like a full-on beadlock wheel, then you go back to a gold American Force, then you go to a black Method Racing wheel, then back to a silver American Force, and then a gold TIS wheel, and then a green TIS wheel. So there's a lot going on here, and I think for this application, I'm going to use these black and green beadlocks. If anybody knows in the comment section down below what wheels these are or what brand this is, go ahead and let me know. I feel like I've seen the face of that wheel before, but I don't quite remember where it was from. So again, if somebody could enlighten me as to the brand of those wheels in the comments down below, that would be greatly appreciated. So we're going to go ahead and equip those and make our way out to the track. It's properly quick, too, and you really don't have to use the, you know, the top engine to get the best out of it. And I really like that. I like how when you drive this truck, you can use the quote-unquote, I say mid-grade engine, the quote-unquote mid-grade engine, and it really just works amazingly well. Look at how easy that lands. It does such a great job with the race gearbox, or not even the race gearbox, sorry, the race suspension, that you really, turn? Turn, maybe? You guys saw I had the front wheels turned to the right. I got into the power with the front wheels turned to the right, and it just kept going straight. It just kept understeering. Dang! And as you can see, though, in these high-speed corners, when you have that race suspension equipped, it does a much better job of controlling the body roll and controlling the body movement of this truck. So up and over in high, back into automatic mode. Sitting in about 7th gear. Let's see how it does around this paved sweeper. Some trucks fold here. Wow! Perfect progressive slide around that corner. Really good job. Really good job out of this truck. It's super, like, predictable. There's nothing you really feel like you ever have to worry about, honestly. And you can change setups on it like that. It can literally go from being a backwoods trail exploration truck to being a full-on race truck in literally a suspension adjustment. That's it. And that's the magic of this truck, and the true beauty of it is that, you know, all of those personalities that this thing has. And I think, you know, with all those personalities that this truck has, I think it really would be incredibly well advised for you to use this truck in as many different scenarios as you humanly possibly can. I actually way overshot the landing zone there. Way overshot it. Didn't quite overshoot it too bad on that one, but got pretty close to overshooting it. Let's see if we can slow down in time. Nope. And if you ping the guardrail, you will be going for a bit of a spin cycle. Or at least you'll be going for... At least you'll be getting whipped back the other direction, that's for sure. Oh, I tried to transition it. It wasn't happy about it. It wasn't happy about it at all. Flung me towards the wall, but that's all right. Make a run down toward that apex. Come on. And the automatic gearbox is actually pretty well programmed. I mean, you might think that, like, with 9 gears, it would be hunting all over the place all the time, but actually, no. It's pretty well controlled about how it picks its gears. Now, you can encourage it to shift faster by tapping the clutch in certain situations, and when you get used to how the truck performs, you can kind of predict when those shifts are going to happen and then bump the clutch ahead of time and, you know, just get it to shift a little faster. But even if you don't really touch the clutch, it does a good job of managing the gearing and managing the shifts. Easy does it. There we go. And across the line, and that is Limes L400. Now, he may end up making a couple more adjustments to it before it releases, and if he does do that, then there will be things in the truck that weren't seen in this video. However, as a progress update, I'm really glad that we ended up taking a look at this truck when we did, because I absolutely love it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it drives, and once this thing drops for the public, I definitely think that y'all should get your hands on it. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.